Okay, so I wanted to have this be its own segment to discuss the decks that I have in the US at my parents' house that I'm struggling with deciding whether to bring back. So let's just get on into it. The Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle by Judy Hall. It's kind of banged up. When I did use this deck, I did have enjoyable readings. It's super helpful, like if you're doing a particular type of healing type of reading and you want to have a crystal card to accompany that reading, maybe a crystal they could work with. If they don't own the crystal, they could study up on the stone and its healing properties, your clients, right? You could do personal readings for yourself and have these cards on your altar. So here's Aquamarine and Eye of the Storm. I'm not going to show all the cards of all these decks because I've probably done an unboxing of them. So that's that one. This one's, I don't know. Oh goodness, some of these words. Auralite. This is one I have in my personal collection of stones. This is Flint. I love citrine. Malachite. It's a great guidebook, and you can use this for, healing type readings, like I mentioned before. It has a lot of good information in. I mean, the guidebook alone, because she's like a master of crystals. Let me tell you, she's a definite expert that I go to for information. So, for example, for Bloodstone, it has. It says Bloodstone has always had a powerful connection with maintaining vitality, regulating menstruation, and staunching blood loss, as well as purifying the kidneys. And then she has a self-understanding section, a divination section, a healing insight, and what frequency it's on, what chakra, timing, and soul's path. So this is a really good book that I'm hoping to get to know more. I always, every time that it came up where I was going to sell this deck, I end up not. So I'm hoping I'm finally going to have a little more time to work with this one more, to start back getting into studying up on my crystals. I want to catalog my crystals. I want to, take care of them now that I finally have a little home for them. So yeah, I'm probably going to keep this one, but love to hear your thoughts. Let me move on quickly because I got a lot. Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine's Angel Tarot. This was a gift. This was gifted to me. And the readings I would do at work when I worked in an office with colleagues and a boss and everything. And it was spot on for the readings that I would do for either other people or readings we would do about what's coming down the line with the business, the company, our work. Like here, I turn right to Knight of Earth. And it says, loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. That's the key associations. And then the key phrase down here is time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments, a guardian angel. I actually enjoy this deck. Sometimes as even a professional reader, and especially if you're on the hotlines, you don't want to do a lot of psychic labor in terms of always, having to think of keywords. It's sometimes nice to just have them at the top of the card to, when you've been doing a bunch of readings that day. Let's see what this one says. Unity. Unity. I really like this one. And I'm inclined to keep it. So that one's going to stay, I think. I was surprised by it. And it even has gilding, but it's held up through all the readings that I did. I just left it because it wasn't a working deck. I would have brought it with me, but I needed space the last time when I went to the DR for the first time. I couldn't pack every single deck I own, which is looking like 165 on my spreadsheet. 165 decks. Oracle, Lenormand, Tarot. All right, so I'm back. So here we go. More decks. This was gifted to me by a client. Crow's Magic So Crow's Magic Tarot by London Marks. It's a US game systems deck. Won't do a full flip through. I think I did a flip through or unboxing of this deck. I'm not sure, and if I didn't, I will consider doing a deck in focus because I'm going to keep this deck. It's worth when I checked online, and prices fluctuate up and down on decks all the time. If you like follow a deck, hi Dad. If you follow a deck journey from when you first purchased it, maybe you purchased the deck 5 years ago, and it's being published, so the deck may only be worth like $30. But if it goes out of print, and it's been out of print for a long time, then it can go up to like $300, $400. So and then sometimes the publisher, after like 10 years of a deck being out of print, they just decide to reprint it, and then the value can go down again. So it's like kind of like, you know, if you're collecting for money, you have to prospect it, and it's a long game kind of collection. It's not, I mean, you can make instant money on some of them, but the fun is in monitoring it over time, in my opinion. Okay, so I have to apologize for the background noises. My dad is home, and it's hard for him to be quiet. So I wouldn't have it any other way. I was thinking about keeping the Under the Roses Lenormand. I, for some reason, like its simplicity and the color palette. Pretty sure I did an unboxing. I don't know. Let me know, guys. If you search my channel and you search a name of a deck and it's not there, let me know in the comments, and then I will put it. If I own the deck, or even if I don't own the deck, I will do either a Where's the Deck Now, or I will do a deck in focus, or, you know, so let me know. Under the Roses, I wanted to keep a mass market. I have quite a few independently produced Lenormand decks, but I wanted to have a couple of mass market. Moving on, I know for sure I did an unboxing of this one. This is the Sensual Wicca Tarot. There is quite a bit of nudity in this one. I really enjoy this deck. The readings are always in your face and spot on. I did use it for client readings quite a bit. After a while, I stopped using it. The box is worn. You can tell I used it a lot. I just, you know how it happens. You just stop using a deck over time. So I stopped using it. I was also using them early in my channel when I was doing readings for the collective. I'm thinking about bringing that back. Like astrological or something, some way for you all to know that the reading's speaking to you. But I use this one for like the sexual part of the reading, like guidance for what was coming up in the month, and it was great. So I want to work with it some more. It's one of the few decks that I like that has a lot of nudity, that is mass market, that I like. So it has borders, but you can't hold borders against them. I really like this deck. This is the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle, and my mom got it for me for Christmas because she saw it on my wish list, and she got it. And I actually really enjoy this deck for more work with myself. This is a deck that I use for my own personal readings. You can use it for dream interpretation. You could use it for deep shadow type of readings, or you could use it for manifestation, manifesting dreams. So it's really cool, and I want to spend some more time with it. The Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I always love to have a little seasonal deck up in the mix. You know, I don't go all out for Halloween, just so you guys know. I don't. Sorry for the view. Like, this is in my parents' like family room. So, sorry. This is the best I could do for right now. The Halloween Oracle. You guys have probably seen this. I don't know if I did an unboxing or not. I'm hoping I did some time ago. But look, the first card. Winter. So you could use this one from like late, even early fall to like winter time. And I do. Zombie. It's great for readings, like if you're doing them, you know, showing off on Instagram or doing readings for the collective. And also readings for yourself. It's super, I love the artwork. I really do. So I just had to show you guys that one because it's one of my favorites. But again, because it wasn't a working deck and that was my criteria for traveling with me to the DR. So that's what it had to be. Okay. Here are some that I'm really struggling with. And I know these are inexpensive, but my mom is like, well, you already own them, so just deal with them. I don't know. So here's the Earth Magic. Every time I do a reading with this little deck, or use it in a mass, like a bigger spread, like a tarot and oracle spread, and this is like a clarifying message or a closing oracle message for the reading, or if I just do strictly an oracle reading, it's like spot on. I love the card backs. They're so pretty. And like I asked it, like, give me some guidance about me dealing with all my decks. And the card that came up was perspective. And look, this card came up, love or compassion. Have compassion for myself. Meet myself halfway. I had a budget in mind of how much I wanted to spend to ship the deck. So maybe not be so stingy with that and make my life easier. Have some compassion. I love these decks. I want to play with them. I have room for them now in my new home. But I also have to have compassion for the person that I'm growing into, which is someone who wants a lighter load of decks, a lighter load of stuff, and live simply so I can move about the world as I desire. Does that make sense? Look at that, Dawn, new beginnings. I really like it. So I'm struggling with this, but now as I shuffle through, this is a definite yes. I'm going to stack them up already, kind of. Yeah. Oh, the Romance Angels Oracle. I don't even use this deck. And honestly, I may gift it to someone or put it in a giveaway. Maybe I'll do that. But that would entail me having to take it. Unless I ask my sister to hold on to it and ship it on my behalf once the winner. Oh, maybe I might do that and put my stuff off on her. But I made my own Romance Angel, or not Angel, but a romance deck for client readings. And, you know, this one's kind of banged up. That's why I feel kind of bad. Like the gilding is all gone. Otherwise, the cards themselves are in good condition. But I'm rough on them. And I know for a while these were kind of expensive to buy once they went out of print. And it doesn't look like Hay House is going to make another love oracle anytime soon. Like it has retreat, express your love. I have like a more modern love oracle that works better for me in love readings, but I used to use this one all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a giveaway prize. I just don't, I don't need it. And I don't really feel called to keep it like I feel called to keep the Angels Tarot one. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Okay, let me keep going. The Vintage Wisdom Oracle by Victoria Mosley. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing of this one. Let me know if you need it and I didn't publish it. Might just be sitting there waiting to be published. I don't know. So, my husband bought this for me at our favorite little bookstore. And I know that's sentimental reasons, and that's not necessarily a reason to keep a deck. But also, I really like the messages, and I like it. I just absolutely like this deck. And it goes with a lot of my tarot decks that I have, so lighting is bad. Sorry, guys. There we go. That's Change. And it's a decent guidebook, but you don't need it. It's really moody and gorgeous. And like I said, I could do several tarot oracle deck combos. And this one would be one that I would probably pull for because I have certain decks with this art, this similar art. This is Dreams, Ancestors. protection. It's like a whole mood, as they say. All right, let me keep going because this is going to be a long video. And I need your help because I'll tell you my options in a moment. I'll tell you in a moment when I adjust the camera and talk straight to you. The Starseed Oracle. This is by Rebecca Campbell, artwork by Danielle Knoll. And because I have the Moonchild Tarot, I feel this thing where I need to keep this deck. Also, I wanted to combine the two decks. I'd make them into two separate decks, two types of readings. I identify all the cards that work best with each other and just use them interchangeably, and they blend perfectly when I do that. So, love the guidebook. I'm just going to show you for an example. So here's one of the cards. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. Here's the card back. This is from your Starseed Oracle. Then you have, oh, my mom's phone's going off. Then you have take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. This is more, there's certain cards in these two decks that are very like Starseed, cosmic type of readings. And I just sometimes need some practical, everyday kind of messages, like very earth energy type of messages. And this one, that's how I divided this deck up and combined and made my own little two oracles with the mix of cards. So I sorry for the lighting. I really like this one. I'm going to keep going. I'll show you guys the rest. I only have a couple of indie decks in here. Most of the indie decks made their way to me, with the exception of a few. The Literary Witches Oracle, at first it was a hard yes for me to sell it, and now I'm wavering because I was going through some of the cards. I did do an unboxing of this one. I was going through the cards yesterday and the day before, realizing I do kind of like the deck, but I need to be real with myself, you know? And I don't have time to do my spreads because I want to get this done while I'm here on this trip, and I don't have a lot of time. So I'm just going with my gut. So that one I'm really torn on. Move these off to the side. Enjoyed this deck. This is the Soul Truth Self-Awareness card deck, and it basically poses questions. Like it'll pose the question, am I afraid to be seen? Or another card will have, to whom am I comparing myself right now? Or am I apologizing for my truth? And then it has like, it goes into detail on the other side. And this was gifted to me, and it was one of the decks I used to help lead me to my decision to make that move, make that jump. So yeah, to make the jump from living primarily in the US, but you know, wanting to live abroad. And so this was like a big part of that time period for me of discovering where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do with my life. Okay, the Raven's Prophecy. I got this as a prize or like a gift at Northwest Tarot Symposium. This is Llewellyn, and I really want to finally get a chance to get to know it. 2020 is when it came into my collection. Didn't have a lot of time or energy to get to know a new deck like that. So it sat on the shelf, but I still want it. The Numinous Tarot. This is first edition. I think I can't remember if I pre-ordered it right after the Kickstarter campaign or if I was I think I was part of the Kickstarter, if I'm not mistaken. I really enjoy this deck. I did a lot of readings with it early in my professional reading career, and it's super diverse, super inclusive, a joy to read with, and yeah, I'm keeping it. I'm going to start expanding my zombie collection decks because I do actually love zombies. Ever since I was a little girl, when it was totally inappropriate for a little girl to be watching zombie films, I was watching zombie films. There you go. I was born in 1980. It's a thing. I love horror. But this is very peachy. What do you say? What's the word? And I love this deck. I'm not going to open it. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing. I wanted to open it, but it's all, yeah, I'm not going to be able to open it. Because I want to get through these decks and just say what my options are. I guess I'll talk to you guys about that. A friend gifted this to me. This is the Marielle Tarot, and it's by Waite. Mary. I always say it wrong. And she gave me both the first and second edition. And I cannot wait to start to deep dive into this deck. I know the channel Elemental Cartomancy has a tarot study for this deck, and so I'm gonna watch those videos and get caught up on it now that I have it in my hand. So this one's for sure coming. I was regretful that I didn't bring it with me on my trip, but we literally was at the top capacity for flight, for how much weight I could bring. So here's the Sultry's Oracle. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing of this deck. And this is one of my first videos, if not my first video. I did an unboxing of the Dreamer's Journey Major Arcana Oracle by the same creator, Allison Williams Yee. And I think these are both 2016. I love this deck. Love, 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 love. It's more of a deck for me than clients, but it was always on my altar when I lived in the States. And I just also enjoy trees, very much so. Love tree energy. So I'm going to keep those. These are the two indie decks that I think I have. I don't think I have any other decks that are indie. Oh, actually, that's not true. That's not true. So this is tarot with keywords. And like I mentioned before, sometimes you don't want to do all that heavy lifting of, I'm looking at you, of, your psychic abilities, especially if you're doing hotline calls and things. So no one has to know, or I don't even hide it. Sometimes I'm like, well, actually, I haven't used this deck in a long time. It has been here for almost a year. I use my Light Seers Tarot for most of my client readings. But let me tell you this, if I didn't and I used this deck, I wouldn't feel bad about it having the keywords. You can incorporate that into the reading with a face-to-face client where you're like, well, take a look. What speaks to you about the image? What speaks to you about the keywords? What speaks to you about even the number? What comes up for you? Let them be a part of the process of the reading. If you don't have to, but it's just to change it up for you as well. So it has the upright and reversal meanings, which is cool. I did an unboxing of this one. And so I also want to start teaching reading cards. And so I always advise people to have a deck that has keywords that resonate with you. You can make even your own deck. You could use a deck and write the keywords for yourself, but it's important when you're first learning to have such a deck, I think. I think it's helpful. All right. I already have the pocket edition of the Dreams of Gaia. I was like, I don't know why I want to read something else. This is the full-size one. It has an amazing guidebook. Honestly, all I want is the guidebook. I don't really want the deck. I like the little pocket-size cards because they're also matte and they're pocket-sized. They're easy to handle. But I like the guidebook. But I would think it would be a shame to separate the guidebook from the cards. So I'm struggling with that as well. Just so you know. My mom's going to come in here in a minute and be like, oh my God, all these decks are all over my couch. Okay, what is this one? This one is the Melanated Classic Tarot by Julia Goolsby and Ubria Trunshaw. And so I have that deck in here. I want to take it back. I want my melanated collection of decks to be with me. And I think this was one that didn't make it. And guys, I have boxes. So, for example, I took the Moonchild Tarot. That deck in and of itself is super heavy. Super heavy. But the with the box and the guidebook, it's even heavier. So I left the box and the guidebooks here, but now I want to bring them back or ship them. So I still have to deal with that. Like, I have 5 of these size containers of books, like special books that I talked about here on the channel. Like deck boxes, magical stuff I make jewelry, my own jewelry with, all sorts of stuff that I gotta take back. And I don't want to take a bunch of luggage, because my daughter can't move around a bunch of luggage, and it's just going to be me. So I have to think about that. And then I don't want to spend an arm and a leg. I don't want to spend an arm and a leg shipping the decks, customs, worrying about if they're going to make it. So really, I'm struggling with this a bit. These are fun, especially when I was doing virtual readings for like parties and things. And this is the Rebel deck Couples Edition, the Oracle with the Attitude. Really like this deck. It's spot on. And then Rebel deck, the Oracle with the Attitude. This is just your general reading deck, right? You know. So I like them, but do I need to keep them? Should I just buy them later? I do like them. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know the right answer to that. This one's definitely coming. It's probably going to come in my carry-on. The White Sage Tarot. Enough said. Love this deck. Tarot of the Ages. This is out of print. And this is Los Scarabeo. And it was one of the first decks that I really started to click with. There was like 2 or 3 decks that just unlocked some things for me in terms of how to read the cards for others. And this was one of those decks for me. And it means a lot to me, and it's out of print. So it's definitely coming. This is the Way Home Tarot. This is also an independently produced deck. Definitely coming. Enjoyed it when I was using it, but because it wasn't a client reading deck, had to leave it behind. Spirit of the Will. This is another deck that I had a lot of good client readings and readings for myself with, and I really enjoy it, so it's coming. Okay, a couple more. The Dark Mirror Oracle. At first I wasn't sure about this deck. I didn't really use it for client readings. Here's the guidebook in multiple languages, but it's a good guidebook. I wasn't sure about this deck or how it fit into my readings, but then I started doing my Mystery Mystic Monday readings for disappearances or just like unusual circumstance kind of things going on, and I have a feeling, and I've seen other people work with this deck for those type of readings, I have a feeling I'm gonna have a good time with this one, so I'm keeping this one. And yeah, I have some plans to incorporate it in those readings. So let's see how that goes. Okay. And finally, my teaching, another teaching deck. This is the Giant Rider-Waite Smith deck. Got the Giant deck. So it's just great because they're big. You can see the details of them. Would I be just using these for client readings? No. But to teach with, yes. But then I thought maybe I could give it to someone, but I really like it. So my options are to donate, sell, and give away the majority of them and only deal with 10. The other option is to follow my spreadsheet, sell half of them, and then keep half and maybe take some with me on the plane. And then ship the rest. I'm going to ship my indie boxes because they don't have ISBN numbers on them. And the ISBN numbers is how customs tracks to see how much the item is worth, even if you declare it a certain amount, because they want to charge customs taxes, right? So I have to keep that in mind. And I really do want to bring them. I had every intention of bringing many of these decks back, but I also don't use them all. And I have to get real with myself. I don't want a lot of clutter in my new home. I don't want a lot of decks that I'm not using. It would be better to send them off to people who would love them, you know? So I had to do these things in multiple segments, because there's a lot. I'm not going to even bore you with all the boxes and guidebooks that go with the boxes because, yeah, we don't even need to go there. That is going to happen. I'll probably, for decks that I could probably get all the time, I may not keep those boxes like mass market boxes, but the indie boxes are coming with me. No, like that's not even a question. So, yeah, that's it, folks. Let me know your thoughts. I really appreciate any and all thoughts and feedback. I have until the 4th, or maybe even the 3rd of January to ship off some stuff and make a decision on if I'm going to check additional luggage or not and go from there. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Here, let me show you my face. Thanks so much for watching. Happy holidays. Happy New Year to all of you. I am so thoroughly enjoying spending time with my family. This has been the best holiday season I've had since for a long time, since probably I was a kid, honestly. So, it just speaks to how connections with your loved ones and people is where it's really at during the holiday season. Not gifts, not things, but spending quality time together. It's been such a gift of life for me, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being back home. I'll probably do a live Q&A at some point soon, and I can talk and share with you about my trip here in the States and being back home and what that was like. And I'm still processing it. Still enjoying it. I feel like my body just was so happy to have some of my old foods again. So that's it. That's all, folks, for real this time. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you all around in the next video. Bye.